In our previous videos, we have seen laws of reflection of light. Let us review them quickly. Consider this plane horizontal surface and the light ray incident on it. It gets reflected in this direction. We draw a perpendicular to the surface at the point of incidence and it's called the normal. So the first law tells us that angle of incidence I is equal to the angle of reflection R. The second law tells us that all three lie in the same plane. That is, if we draw this on a piece of paper, all three will lie on that piece of paper only. Now let's suppose that this plane surface is smooth. What do I mean by smooth? Well, if you look at this surface, this is certainly not smooth. A smooth surface is a surface with no irregularities. Well, to be honest, no such surface exists. However, a plane surface of mirror is a pretty close approximation of that. So suppose our surface under consideration is a plane mirror. We will talk about reflection of light from this irregular surface a bit later. First, we talk reflection of light from a plane mirror. Suppose there is one more ray incident on this mirror at this point but parallel to the first ray. The reflected ray travels in this direction. What can you say about the two reflected rays? They are also parallel to each other. So if the incident rays are parallel, reflected rays are also parallel. Similarly, if we draw a few more rays incident on the surface of the mirror parallel to these ones, then the reflected rays will also be parallel to each other. Now this might sound obvious or predictable to many of you, and it's kind of intuitive. However, it has some real interesting applications. We come across so many applications of this in real life but never realize that they were connected to this phenomenon. We will see those applications in the next video. We can think of incident rays here as a bundle or group of rays parallel to each other. Reflected rays are also traveling in a group. So we can say that when group of rays parallel to each other is incident on a plane and smooth surface like a plane mirror, then each ray in the group gets reflected and all the reflected rays also travel together in the group parallel to each other. But note that this is only in the case of a plane and a smooth surface. This is not the case for irregular surfaces, as we will see soon. The above reflection of light from a plane mirror is called regular or specular reflection. Here is how we define it. Now let's talk about the light reflecting from an irregular surface like this. And here as well, assume that the group of rays incident on this irregular surface are parallel to each other. Where do you think the reflected rays will travel? Do you think that they will travel in a group just like they did in the previous case? To find that out, let us try to draw each and every reflected ray. First ray is incident at this point. What is the normal at this point? The normal is this one, perpendicular to this surface. Hence, the reflected ray will travel in this direction. Remember, the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection will always be the same. What about this ray? Where will the reflected ray travel? Here, the normal line is this, perpendicular to this surface. And hence, the reflected ray will travel in this direction. On the same lines, we can draw other rays too. So are reflected rays traveling in a group parallel to each other just like incident rays? Not really. In this case, each reflected ray is traveling in a different direction. Such type of reflection from an irregular surface is called diffused or irregular reflection. Let me quickly recap the two important points we learnt. Reflection from a smooth surface is called regular or specular reflection, while reflection from an irregular surface is called diffused or irregular reflection. Most of the surfaces that we come across in our daily life are irregular surfaces. A piece of paper, surface of a wall are some of them. On the other hand, a plane mirror is a close example of a smooth surface. What other surface besides a plane mirror can be considered as smooth? If your answer was surface of water, then you're absolutely correct. Yes, surface of water, screen of your monitor, glossy paper are a few of the things that we can consider as smooth surfaces. Let us review what we learned today. We studied two types of reflections in this video: regular and diffused reflection. Regular reflection is the one in which when rays are incident parallel to each other on a plain smooth surface like a mirror, and the reflected rays also travel in a direction parallel to each other. Diffused reflection is the one in which the rays are incident on a rough surface, and after reflection, they all travel in different directions. We will see few of their applications in the next video.